to me month after month, inviting herself over to my house as early as 9 o'clock in the morning just to check on us like we're criminals. Every time I move, you gotta come to my house. You gotta taint my house. You gotta make my house mean absolutely nothing to me because you're there, uninvited, to my place. And how many people have these doctors hurt? How many people have these nosy nurses hurt? How many nurses sit there and don't even listen to what a person is saying and just write down, she doesn't have any clothes for her child? Let me tell you something. Since my daughter's been gone, I've given her well over 200 tops, but yet I have no clothes for her. And I couldn't, they said, oh, you can't take care of your child. But yet I showed them how much money I saved up for her. I said, gosh, is over $1,000, is that enough for a child to start off her first day of life? I guess the bills I had paid in advance in the 2-bedroom was just not good enough for you. It didn't matter if I had 2 cribs, 500 diapers, 300 bottles. Oh, it's just not good enough for you. Nothing's good enough for you people. Because that's the way I always felt. Like, my God, I have to prove to these people that I can be a parent. And then I got to be treated like I'm 14 years old, being followed around. See, if you want work, CPS, why don't you mess with everybody under the age of 18 that are having children? If you are looking for work to do, and you don't mess with any of these kids that are on a show called Trading Spouses or Nanny 911, you're not bothering them. Why? Because they're upper middle class, and it would take your budget away from you. See, I understand why CPS likes to give the children back to the parents, because of that fat bonus on your paycheck that comes on your check added on. That's what it's all about, is the money. You harass people to death. I have talked to many women who have been harassed during their whole time of being a parent to their child. And then the funny part is, after they turn 18, you just don't care. You kick them right out of the system and let them go their merry way, and you can give less than a hoo-ha about them. And that's what I don't like about you, because you're a joke. You are there to rip off all the taxpayers. I bet you don't follow those criminals around too hard. I hear that you go around taking people's kids away because they did one crime, or even 10 crimes. But I don't think you'd be messing with Hell's Angels. I bet you wouldn't bother them going to their house and bothering them. I bet you wouldn't mess with the KKK. If you knew people were in the KKK, would you go and bother them? Would you walk off with their kid the first day of their birth as being parents? See, if you need somebody to harass, why don't you harass the kids that are under 18 years old? If you need work that bad, if you need money so bad, why don't you go to some of these third world countries where the kids are starving to death and they're laying up there walking on broken glass with no shoes to wear? Why don't you go over there and bother them and tell that parent that they're not doing a good job? The parents with the kids with the swollen bellies and they got the flies flying all over them. Why don't you bother them? If you're looking for work, when you're seeing all these, like the Maury Povich show, which is one of my favorite shows, but you see women up there that don't even know who the daddy of their babies is. Why aren't you bothering them? They're sleeping with 10, 20 guys and don't even know who the daddy is. See, if you're looking for somebody to bother, why don't you find somebody to bother that's worth bothering? I mean, I love Whitney Houston. I love her music. I think she's great. But she had a pound of marijuana when she was there in Hawaii. And she got on that plane and she just flew away. But are you bothering her? Did she get to raise her little daughter in peace? Did she get to keep her daughter home? How about Bobby Brown, who sat there and did the cocaine? Smoked the coke or smoke it or snort it or whatever he did. Are you bothering him and his children? Why? I don't think you're going to bother very rich people, because they got the money to bring you down. They got the money to get you to leave them alone. Because they can just sit there and suck all your money right out of your pocket, and your budget would be gone like the wind. I'm pretty sure that you're not going to be messing around with all those rappers that sit there talking about, yeah, I smoke pot. I bet you don't mess with the Snoop Doggy Dogg sitting up there talking about he's the Chronic, and sitting up there messing with Jay-Z, sitting up there going, oh, the Chronic, the Bud. All these people that sit there and talk about Bud on their records. Are you bothering them? Are you going to their house demanding tests to harass them? Because they got the money to bring you down. That's why. You're not going to mess with rich people like Michael Jackson. I mean, Michael Jackson, what did he do? He sucked your money out of your pocket. When you came to mess with him and take his 3 kids, yeah, he took you guys to the grinder. I mean, he put Neverland up for mortgage, you know, and that cost him a lot of money. But he got a lot of them big shot lawyers up in there. And did he get rid of you? Yeah. You know why? Because you guys couldn't afford it. You don't mess with people that you can't afford. You only mess with the poor people. That's what you do. You're using poor people as guinea pigs for your research. Every mother that I've spoken to is terrified. They are so scared to be parents. It's like, what do they want me to do? What do I have to do for them? It's like, my goodness. You know, you don't sit up there and mess with the upper middle class, because they'll have a $500 lawyer right there in court, and they'll tell you how it is, man. They'll be like pulling the witnesses up and be ready to go to rock and roll. You see what I'm saying? But no, you got to mess around with people that are poor. And so because they're poor, you got to make them miserable. You got to make their life worthless. You've got to make them feel like they're nothingness. And then if they want a child to share their life with, somebody to love, somebody to be there for, somebody to watch grow in front of them, then you just take that little joy that they have and you trash it. That's what you like to do, is crush people's life. You don't build lives, you crush lives. You sit there and you milk the United States of America out of their money. You suck the money out of their pocket some kind of way. All those taxpayers, all those hard-working people that are working hard at McDonald's, at Wendy's, and Burger King, they're busting their butts trying to pay their bills. And here you are, they're paying taxes for this. They're paying taxes out of their pocket when they could be taking that money or having extra money in their pockets to support their families. A lot of families live from paycheck to paycheck. And I think it's really unfair when you sit there and you suck the money out of their pocket. And I think it's just the biggest scam in the United States of America. And thank God there's a black president right now, because just like Tupac, when he did that song, That's Not the Way It Is, and he says there'll never be a black president. Well, you know what? He might not have saw a president in his time, but there is one, you know, for now. And, you know, I do wish him luck. And I did vote for him. And at the same time, I'm just really frustrated with CPS. I am so sick of them. I mean, I'm sick of the stress, the anxiety, the tension, the pain that they put me and my kids through, and my husband through. Because that's all you cost. It's nothing but stress. And we just had it. The last time when you sit up there and you accuse a little girl, my daughter, of doing something, and then we go get the test results, and we bring it in 2 days later, and you said, but you're going to bother us anyway? That was enough. We realized that you're never, ever going to leave us alone. No matter where we move, you're going to be knocking on our door trying to find something wrong. So it's like, hey, we throw our hands up in the air because we're just like, you know what? You're not going to allow us to live without having fear in our lives. And that's all you ever do, is make people frightened. But you enjoy it. I think that you're a psychopath. I think a lot of these CPS workers are psychopaths because they enjoy acting like everything's